Welcome back to the Go Home Bros podcast. I know it's been a while, but we are back because it is go home time for the Elimination Chamber. But before we get into
Elimination Chamber.
Before we get into that, I just want to remind you that you can follow us on our socials. We have TikTok and we have Instagram, both Go Home Bros. So yeah, just check us out on there. We'll be posting clips. And we actually, or the X Factor right here, posted a clip just going over the Royal Rumble because obviously we didn't get a chance to do the Royal Rumble. But yeah, so follow us on there. I am producer Jay, and I said it already. The X Factor, Cameron or
X-Factor.
Cam.
X Factor Cam.
So how you been? It's been a while since we obviously talk in real life.
I know, right?
We're
I saw you
brothers.
like yesterday.
Yeah, but for the audience, how have you been?
I've been good. I mean, not much has really done anything. We actually watched Royal Rumble, not live, but with a live crowd, I guess. Like we did like a little watch party.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. Got to see the whole experience. Jey Uso winning is just like a crazy experience that you only see live, and it's like watching it over. It's like wow, but watching it when it happened, it was like it was brain busting.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I was actually gonna bring that up
crazy.
because there's a lot of things that happened between the last episode and now, and yeah. So let's talk about that. Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. I said it when we watched it together that like it's so amazing that a guy like him, everybody thought with Cody Rhodes, like that was the story, that was everybody's underdog story. Him coming up from the bottom and never having Dusty Rhodes win a title, or he won the World Heavyweight title, but that was in WCW. He never won a WWE champion, and that was the story for Cody Rhodes. But he was still Rhodes. Like he still had like pedigree. He had help. He had the help of Randy. He had the help of Ted DiBiase Jr. With Legacy. So he was always around. And I feel like it was almost kind of destined for him to do this. But Jey Uso, I don't think anybody would have told you, like just like even 5 years ago, that Jey Uso was gonna win the Royal Rumble and main event WrestleMania.
No, even last year, like I wouldn't have thought Jey Uso would win the Royal Rumble, especially after that WrestleMania match. I thought, you know what, maybe he's like main event Jey, but like not Royal Rumble winner. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like those are two different things. Like you can win the Royal Rumble and be like, I don't know, you can win the Royal Rumble and like you're right here, and main event Jey Uso was kind of like the regular like main event guy, but I didn't think it was just Royal Rumble ready, and apparently he was. I was definitely wrong.
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where, and this is one of the highlights of Triple H being in charge, because for so long we got used to Vince McMahon just not giving the fans what they want. Like he told them what they wanted, and then he would give that to them, or to us.
Yeah.
And we would be so like excited for like a Daniel Bryan or a CM Punk or guys like that who were not the ones that WWE wanted to push, but that we wanted to push. And eventually they made it, but it was a fight to get there between like the company and the fans. But now with Triple H in charge, and he's said this like in interviews that just sometimes you just got to give the fans what they want. And that's what he's doing. And I know a lot of people online are talking about Jey Uso, like, oh, he doesn't deserve it. Like, he's whacking the ring and stuff like that. It's like, but then they wanted John Cena to win. Like, John Cena's even worse in the ring now than he was 10 years ago. So
he definitely is.
And that was when we didn't like him. So, yeah, the whole hate, and I think it's just online. It's I don't think, if you listen to the crowds, you see him come out, they're yeeting with him and cheering and trying to get like
trying to get
in
like
when he's coming on the
when
entrance on the stairs, like they're trying to get in with him and stuff like that. Like you can see the fans love Jey Uso. So it's not a matter
not
of him not being over or him not being a good wrestler.
not
Like they want him to be there. That's wrestling. That's literally wrestling from the beginning. The fan favorite deserves to be on top.
on top.
That's it. It doesn't matter if their wrestling ability is not as great as someone else. They can still do it because look at Mankind. Like he was not the best wrestler, but people wanted him to win the championship, and they eventually gave it to him for like a day, but they gave it to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jey Uso winning, it's also just the fact that like, because his father's Rikishi, and like we said, like or I said that you would never think that Jey Uso, somebody like Jey Uso, like Cody Rhodes, you could probably see it, but with Jey Uso, like it just it's a whole different what's the word I'm saying? Like a whole different scenario with Jey
Yeah.
Uso, and I feel like it's gonna be that much more. I mean, they could still have him lose at WrestleMania. Let's not pretend that that's not a possibility.
It definitely is, but that would be really tough.
It would be.
That would suck.
It would. But I don't know. I think a lot of things are unpredictable right now. So, and that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing. I guess that's true. I mean, we'll get through all the matches. First of all, WrestleMania is March 1st. Right now, what we got coming up is Elimination Chamber.
Wait, you said March 1st?
Yeah. Oh, Elimination
WrestleMania.
Chamber
Yeah,
is March 1st.
I was going to say WrestleMania is not this week.
I wish it was. No, WrestleMania is in April, I believe.
Yes.
I don't exactly remember the day.
I know it's Easter weekend. That's all I know. Whatever Easter weekend is. Isn't it
so
like
early April?
Yeah, early April, yeah.
Yeah. So, Elimination Chamber is March 1st. So sorry. So Jey Uso, I don't know. Like, I feel like Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble is great, but I feel like he shouldn't have made his decision so early.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of rushed that. They probably could have milked it for a little bit just to kind of him like play both sides, maybe have Gunther continue to torment him to try and like tell him don't choose me because this is what's going to happen. But I don't know. I feel like maybe they had to because of maybe what they're going to do with Cody. Like I don't know. Maybe we'll probably find out at Elimination Chamber why they chose or why he chose Gunther so soon. But yeah, I thought they probably could have milked it a little bit more.
Yeah, because now in the Elimination Chamber, like somebody like a Damian Priest or like even a kind of like a Drew McIntyre, like I don't know. I kind of don't believe that Damian Priest is gonna win at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even Logan Paul, I feel like maybe had a chance of challenging Gunther, but like he's definitely not going against Cody. Damian Priest is not going against Cody. Drew McIntyre, maybe. Like I feel like these people are automatically L's when Jay picks his opponent, and it's like kind of lessens the match a little bit, but it still has its high standard.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
you're right. I mean, well, we'll get into it because there's a bunch of other stuff I wanted to talk about before we get into Elimination Chamber. AEW released a bunch of people recently. AEW recently released Malachi Black, Ricky Starks, and Miro. And those were the notable ones. I think there was like one more, but I can't. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, we know recently Ricky Starks made his debut, like literally the day after it happened.
Yo, literally
in NXT. He didn't say his name because they didn't know what his name was gonna be. Is literally the day after. But then the following week, he or not the following week, the following NXT pay-per-view, he signed a contract and now he's going by Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints,
which is not terrible. I mean, I think a lot of people got used to Starks, so they just wanted the same thing, you know. But I mean, look at other guys. Like look at Seth Rollins. Like that's not his name when he was coming up in Ring of Honor. It was Tyler
No.
Black, but he changed his name and he's still a megastar. Kevin Owens,
Yeah.
he was Kevin Steen. Like
Yep.
now he's a huge star. Sami Zayn, he was El Generico. So it's like there it doesn't matter about the name change as long as they keep their persona. And I think that's the main
Yeah.
important thing. And it seems like that's what they're doing with him.
Yeah. Ricky Saints, I feel like is a good name. I mean, it's not too far off. Plus, I know a lot of people are like, oh, who cares or whatever, but Zoe Starks or Zoe
Yeah.
Stark and Ricky Starks being in the same company. Eventually, when Ricky makes that leap to the either Raw or SmackDown, I feel like it's gonna be a little weird when they have the same name or last name.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little weird.
It is even now. It's still kind of like because you have
Uh,
what you have Braun Breaker,
Andre.
you have Braun Strowman, you have Bronson Reed. So it's like even
Yeah,
that could be a little confusing. So I can
it
see why
could
they
be.
didn't want to continue doing that.
Yeah, I mean that whole Braun thing is just funny, but like if they actually all had like the same first name, that would be even worse. Like Braun, I think is spelled Braun, and then Braun Bron. It's like it makes a little bit more sense, but like start like that, you can't change that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like if it's literally the
So
same
I think
spelling, like it
yeah, and hey, WrestleMania is in New Orleans next
next
year.
year he had a year to
Ricky
make them.
Saints,
Yeah, honestly, that could be
hey
if
man,
he can come up and get the momentum going. I'm not saying he's gonna main event WrestleMania or anything,
no,
but
no.
he can still, at least be on the card.
Yeah, I think he could be on the card. And that'd be a pretty cool thing. Like, is Saint, New Orleans. It'll be the perfect place, but
It would be.
that's next year.
Yeah.
We're not even at this year yet.
Yeah, right. Let's talk about that next year.
Yeah,
um,
and I got a chance to meet Ricky Starks before he went to NXT and while he was still in AEW.
mhm.
I'm actually in this wrestling program called House of Glory. I'm not a wrestler, but I'm training to be. And in my opening day, they had like an open house. And there was a show that day. He was on that House of Glory show, and it was February 25th or January 25th. January
Yes.
25th. And they had a House of Glory show, and he was on that show. It was really cool. Like he was a really nice guy and all that. Like
Yeah.
he was pretty cool. Like I just got to have a conversation with him, and it was like I knew him. You know what I mean? It was like it was really cool. So
He's very like
I
down
do
to
think,
earth.
yeah, he's down to earth. I didn't ask him any weird questions like, "Oh, when you gonna be on AEW?" But like, he's a pretty cool guy. I like to see guys like that make it, and I'm glad he's at NXT. I'm glad he has that mega pop when he first got there. He's having like a good role start out. So I hope it all works out for him. He's doing pretty good. So
Yeah. He's gonna be he's probably gonna be on the main roster soon. I don't see him staying in NXT too long. Um, but the other two guys that were released, Malachi Black and Miro. The main one that a lot of people were talking about was Malachi Black
yeah,
because if you don't remember, he was Aleister Black in WWE and he was a huge star in NXT, and I remember people were like saying like he could be like the next guy because Triple H, and even in interviews he would say like he was like Triple H's guy, like he trusted Triple H's vision with him and stuff like that. But when he got to the main roster,
uh,
it kind of was just like they didn't know what to do with him. And I mean that was the case with a lot of people. Um but and then that's why he went to AEW. But now that he's a free agent, I think it would be a sin if WWE didn't sign him up. Cuz it's like
yeah.
that's Triple H's guy. Like that was who the
I,
one that he wanted to build and did build around. Um
yeah,
so I think I mean it was too soon, obviously, because like for Ricky Starks, like or Ricky Saints, he wanted to make his like debut now, but it was going to be in NXT. Obviously, Malachi when if he comes back, Alistair, like he's going to come to the main roster straight away. So that you kind of have to
yeah,
save. You can't just debut him right away. Probably a night after WrestleMania debut.
yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking too.
So
Yep.
I feel like that would be the perfect time. Because like you gotta have him back. Like that's like that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, he definitely NXT champion. Like he did a lot in NXT, and like you said, he was the guy. So, and even his main roster appearance, it was kind of like, even though like he didn't achieve the things that he probably should have achieved on the main roster, I feel like he's still such a star. Like I was always a fan of Aleister Black, even when he was just like lingering around or whatever. But he's just a cool guy. Like I don't know, like his whole gimmick, his whole shtick is just like it's cool. That's all
Yeah.
I gotta say. And I feel like it has potential to be something on the main roster, like WWE champion type thing.
Yes,
So
I agree.
I think hopefully, because he definitely is gonna return. There's no doubt. When he does return, I feel like I don't know. I just can't wait. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see where he lands when he first comes back. I don't know.
A lot of
We'll
people are
see.
saying SmackDown because his wife is on SmackDown, Zelina Vega. So, um, that honestly wouldn't be a
Honestly,
bad
wouldn't be.
place because I feel like SmackDown is lacking in like top baby faces. So him being there would be a good addition.
Yeah, but he would have to go against the WWE champion, whoever that is at the time that he comes back. So
That I mean,
if it's
hey,
Cody Rhodes, that's a crazy storyline.
I mean they probably wouldn't do it right away, but they could tease it.
It could. It could. I think it would be a crazy storyline. Triple H's protege in NXT, the first guy to be like that guy, versus Cody Rhodes, the guy who went against Triple H on his way out of the AEW and like is best friends with him now in WWE.
Yeah,
That's a crazy story.
yeah.
Involving Triple H, like just that, bro. Anyways,
Anyways, the last guy is Miro, aka Rusev. Um,
Rusev Day.
on Rusev Day. How could they fire him on Rusev Day?
I know they gotta hire him back on Rusev Day. It would be so poetic.
I know. He would be a good addition. He was over obviously, and again, like we talked about before, like with Vince McMahon, like it was a fight because people were cheering for Rusev, and I don't think Vince wanted them to. I don't think they wanted Rusev to be as over as he was. So I think if he were to come back, it's tough because I don't think Rusev is at the level where you want to just like, have him just beat everybody or be like dominant or whatever. Because he is up there in age. It's not like he's young anymore. But I feel like maybe you use him as like a utility player kind of to kind of just like work with different guys to I guess put them over, like the younger guys. Um I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like that's probably the best use of him because he's so popular. You can always feature him anywhere, and it's like he'll still be like he'll still be over.
I feel like he also already did the whole dominant guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like when he first started in even NXT, like his whole like main roster debut, he went against John Cena at WrestleMania, coming out in a tank. Like
that's
he
true.
went all the way up there in the ranks of like, I'm gonna beat everybody every day. I'm gonna make them submit with the accolade, I think it was
The
called.
accolade, yeah.
And that just he did that already, and it wasn't what got him over. What got him over was Rusev Day, and it was like this guy that's like trying to get over. It's kind of like LA Knight, but like not the
And
whole trying to be a cool guy thing. It's kind of just like, yo, it's Rusev Day every day. You know what I mean? They could
yeah,
go a bunch of different ways with it, but I don't know. We'll see if he even keeps that when he comes back. I think he's gonna come back as well.
yeah. So we'll see what happens with Malachi and Miro if they do debut again in WWE. But moving on, um, another debut that happened in the time that we last spoke on this podcast. Penta is WWE Cero Miedo. And honestly, like
Or
if you had to describe like a perfect debut, like you would point to this match. Like literally from day one, he got the crowd on his side cheering for him on his first match in. And that's the mark of a true star. Like that's and it boggles my mind that he was still in that situation with in AEW. And I mean, granted, he was able to get out, but his brother Phoenix is still there. that they don't want to release him for whatever reason. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, Penta, and still, like, it's been a few weeks already. He had his Rumble appearance and he did great. He was actually the Iron Man in that match. He lasted the longest.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He actually, it's crazy that his 1 and 2 was Rey Mysterio and Penta
Yeah.
to start out.
And
That was like crazy.
I think that's probably going to be like a future. I want to say WrestleMania, but I feel like they would have had to build that by now, and I don't think they're going to do it. But that's a future.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year, or maybe even SummerSlam or something. I mean, SummerSlam, they're treating it like a WrestleMania this year. It's going to be 2 nights. It's going to be at a stadium. But that could be a good match to do it at. But yeah, Penta, he's quickly becoming one of my favorites. Like, he was always like up there in like terms of like guys I like to watch and pay attention to, but he's in WWE specifically, he's becoming a top guy. Like, I wanted to buy his shirt, but I was just like, I can't. I got too many shirts. I would have to get rid of some.
I did get rid of some, actually. It was just too much, like too many. I had a Balor Club shirt.
I remember that
from like when he first came back, and it was like all faded. I was like, nah, why am I holding on to this shirt? It just describes Finn Balor right now. It's faded.
Yeah.
Like, just throw it in the trash.
That's actually pretty accurate.
Just throw it in. See, my AJ Styles shirt is still bright and blue. You know, it's still working.
Oh yeah, AJ Styles came back too. I forgot about that. Yeah.
AJ Styles came back. He got his theme song back.
Yeah, got his theme song. Oh God, like I can't tell you how excited I was when he came on the Rumble and with that theme song. And I don't know what's going on with WWE and their theme songs. I mean, I feel like we've talked about it so many times, but it's like they need to figure something out. The fact that they're going back to themes, they're bringing back themes that people had because the new ones just suck. Like Finn Balor, he was another one. They changed his theme at the Royal Rumble. Nobody knew who he was, and that was bad. And then I think, was it last week? He got his old theme back, or not his old theme, but his previous theme back. So it's like
his Judgment Day themes.
Yeah. So it's like, why did you change it at all? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, they do hit here and there. Like, I mean, Penta's theme is really cool. I like Penta's theme.
Yes, and it's honestly with Penta, like in particular, I like that it's not stereotypical, because if you look at every Hispanic wrestler, like they always, aside from like Damian Priest, they always have because he's a luchador. So like, you ever look at like the luchadors, like they always give them the stereotypical music, Hispanic music, Mexican music, and it's like, you don't have to do that. Like you can give them a regular song, and the fact that his song is like nothing like stereotypical, it's like a rock song, like a heavy metal song, and it's perfect for him because he's like that guy.
Yeah, I think they hit on the money with that theme song, but there's so many other fails, and it's just like
that. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, for as many good songs they have like 10 trash ones. Like another good one is Jacob Fatu. Like his theme is actually really good, but it's like then they have other ones like freaking Bailey. Like, it's just so bland.
Bailey's, oh my God,
I don't understand. But anyway, Penta. I was like, what were we talking about? I forgot. So yeah, what are your thoughts on his debut?
I think his debut is perfect. I mean, to be honest, the whole Chad Gable luchador problem, like, that came out of nowhere. But I mean, to be honest, honestly, having Chad Gable go against Penta in his first match, it was just great to look at. And Chad Gable's such a good like worker. It's just like, it proves how good of a worker he is. And now with this whole storyline, he went off on a side quest to go do his to fix his luchador problem. He talked to Dominic Mysterio. He gave him a number to call or someplace to go or whatever. Now he's going somewhere. If he shows up in Lucha Underground, that would be insane, but I don't think he is. But it just goes to show, like, it's crazy. Like, Penta versus Chad Gable, I would never thought, like, oh yeah, I need to see that match. That match was really good.
Yeah.
That match was so good. And it was like, wow. to be honest, I never really watched, and I know you loved Penta before he got there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
I
never
watched
really
him when
watched
he
Penta
was
like
in
that.
Lucha Underground. That's how I found out about him. That's how a lot of people found out about him.
Oh yeah, I remember we for those of you, I don't know if we talked about it before, but we used to play this game on 2K, and it was like a my career or not my
It
career,
was
my
Universe.
universe mode,
Yeah.
and we got to like draft people and make our own show, and every year, every time, this dude top five people, Penta, every single time, Pentagon Junior every
It was
time,
Pentagon
and
Jr.,
I was
yeah.
like, yo, what? Why are you always picking this guy? He's like, yo, he's the GOAT, like he's fire, and I'm like, all right, I guess I pick Ray Phoenix, like,
I don't even know what that is, but I'm a big him.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I just picked his brother just because I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want you to have both of them. But Penta is just, it's just, he's good. That's all I gotta say. And I hope he does really good things, to be honest, because right now he's a little floating a little bit. But I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with the whole Ludwig Kaiser P Dunn thing.
Yeah, I feel like they are building to something. I just don't know what it is. Like it seems like they're trying to do stuff with more with Pete Dunne now. And Ludwig Kaiser, obviously, like they're trying to like keep him around and have him be somebody that's actually a threat because for so long he was just Gunther's lackey and now he's just like doing his own thing. Like they're still like
Yeah.
connected because they have the same theme song, but they're doing their separate thing. So um I think with Penta in the mix, like, and they even teased that he might be going after the Intercontinental title with Braun Breaker. I think honestly
I
the
think
best bet
honestly,
would
that
probably to just
probably,
put everybody in the like an IC title ladder match at WrestleMania.
yeah.
Just have it be like Braun Breaker, Penta, Ludwig, Pete Dunne. You could probably add AJ in there. Maybe Logan Paul if you don't got an opponent for him.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, that's six. You probably what the?
What?
A thumb
Oh,
came up. You didn't see that?
what the heck? I
What?
did
Hey,
see
what the
that.
heck? I didn't know that
I
happened.
think I think our podcast likes that match.
Yeah.
Well, if
Um.
you guys don't know to
Oh
like the
yeah.
podcast,
Yeah.
it tells you right there, I
You
guess.
should
There
take
you
that
go.
as a sign. You should like and subscribe. But
Imagine they don't even see that. It's just us
yeah,
like hallucinating.
that was weird. But
Yeah, that was weird. But go ahead.
But yeah, so I mean that honestly, you could just do it with those six guys. You could probably add a maybe a couple more, but yeah, I feel like that would be the main thing to do. If you don't have anything for them, that would be a good showcase match for everybody.
Yeah, I think it would be great, honestly. And Penta has been on a roll. He hasn't lost besides, I mean, obviously he lost the Royal Rumble, but that doesn't count. He hasn't lost by pinfall, and he actually lost by pinfall on Raw this week. Ludwig pinned Penta, I think.
No, no, wait, no. He didn't. No, he pinned Pete Dunne. Penta did like a move off the top rope to Pete Dunne, and then Ludwig threw him out and then stole the pin.
Oh, okay. See, my Netflix glitched at that point, so I didn't know who got pinned, and I didn't know what happened. I was like, oh my God, Ludwig. I was watching it on my phone, and then I was like, oh my God, Ludwig pinned Penta. Like, oh my God. And then, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Well, he still lost the match,
He still,
so
yeah, technically it's a loss. Yeah.
he just hasn't got pinned. But Penta, now he's starting to like get in the feel of everything. I think he was also on main event versus Grayson Waller.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are like reading too much into that. Like there's a lot like main event is more of an obligation because they don't air that in the US. They only air it like in Europe or like I forget like on what channel it is, but it's like it's only in Europe and they have like a contract and I guess it brings in money, I don't know, but that's literally just for them. So I don't think being on main event is an indicator of like how they see Penta because I think he's still the top like prospect in terms of like where they want to go and like they're featuring him every week on Raw. So
Yeah. I think honestly, it's just like like you said, an obligation, and like I saw a video recently. It was so funny. It was like the main event, like MVP is
oh,
Apollo
yeah.
Crews, and they showed like him in every match.
I saw
Everybody
that.
faces Apollo Crews.
Yeah,
Everybody,
I remember that. That
and
was so weird.
bro, and it's like it shows the people in the like that face Apollo Crews on main event. It's a lot of people actually, but It's like people like Bronson Reed. Like this dude is like before he got injured, he was propelled to the top. He ain't no jobber.
Yeah.
Like people like Sheamus, like people just it's not like just jobbers that go to face in main event and then go and that's it. That's the only time you see them. There are those cases that happens, but like Penta obviously is not reduced to facing Grayson Waller on main event and that's it. Like obviously he had a backstage segment with Braun Breaker already. He pointed at the title or whatever, and yet he's such like beyond that, and people thinking like he's gonna just stay there is crazy. I don't understand it, but
Yeah.
whatever. I don't care
It is what
about
it
those
is. Like
people.
we know Penta's gonna be he's gonna be around. He ain't going nowhere. They're not giving
Yeah.
up on him anyway. Or anytime soon. Um I do want to talk about one more thing before we get into the chamber, because it's very interesting how things play out. So WWE recently announced that they are partnering with TNA for like a
Mhm.
talent exchange. And I think this is really so a lot of people are saying like, oh, it's not a big deal because it's just TNA. It's not about that it's TNA. It's the fact that they're even partnering to begin with is what the big deal is. And I feel like this is kind of like the first step of possibly them reaching out to other promotions. Because they've always done it.
They've
Like,
always
what was it? Shinsuke, I think he had a match in Pro Wrestling Noah. What's his name? Omos. He's in
yeah
Pro Wrestling. He's in Japan right now.
yeah he is.
And he held a title over there. So it's like they sent him off over there to work, I guess maybe to like learn or something or train. They had Io Sky, AJ, they all went to Japan as well. I think they had I think it was Finn Balor and JD McDonough. They had a match
Yeah,
in
in
some
Ireland.
in Ireland, yeah. So it's like they can do it. They just don't do it often. But this is the first time where they're actually like it's actually like a partnership. And they're having guys come over from each brand to each other's. Like just recently, this week, the Hardy Boys
Party
had a match, titles or champions versus
against
champions
Fraxiums.
against Fraxium, in NXT. And it's like, this is great. Like this is a good thing because this is the first time the Hardys have been back in WWE for like what? When did they come back? It was like 2018, right? 2018?
2018 they came back or like 2019 and then they left around like 2022 2021.
Yeah, it was something like that. But it was like a good like homecoming for them. And now there's talk that they might even put them on the main roster and not just in NXT. Like they might do something with them there, like for SummerSlam. But I like this stuff. And it's something that actually I appreciate that AEW does a lot. They partner with New Japan, they partner with all these other promotions to bring people in and, collaborate. Because that's ultimately what it's supposed to be, like a collaboration. And
Yeah.
I understand like logistically because obviously like it might be hard to be like, oh, who's gonna win? Like you don't want like TNA doesn't want their guys to look bad, but WWE doesn't want their guys to look bad. But it's like it's not about that. It's about just the match. It's about collaborating. It's about seeing guys and having matches that you normally wouldn't see. And I like that. And also Moose, he's the
Oh
X
man.
Division champion. He's facing Obafemi at
Yeah.
the next NXT pay-per-view. So it's like this is good. I like this. And I'm really happy that they actually did it. It's still weird. I'm not, it's freaking TNA.
Yeah.
Like TNA like 10 years ago was like well, first of all, they were just like, who the fuck is TNA? Like nobody really cared about
Yeah, I
them.
know, right?
But now because of this partnership, people are starting to pay attention. And this
Oh
is
my
good.
gosh, yeah. Can you imagine I personally believe that they're gonna do like a Survivor Series type match. They're gonna do it
They need
TNA
to.
versus WWE or versus NXT something. They're gonna do something. I feel like Survivor Series next year or
Or this
this
year.
year
Yeah.
will be the perfect place for that. And I thought they were gonna do it last year, but I think it was just too new.
Yeah.
So it's just like now it's like, yo, you're having tag team champions put the title on the line. at the next pay-per-view. I think did they put the titles on the line for this match or
No,
was
I
the
think
next
it was
pay-per-view?
just a match, but I think the titles are on the line at the next pay-per-view. I'm not entirely sure. Uh,
But yeah, but you have champions from at TNA going to NXT, and you have NXT champions going to TNA. Like this
yeah,
is beyond. Like imagine Prime Kurt Angle, Prime AJ Styles going to NXT or even the main roster. Back when they were like in TNA, that
yeah,
would have been like I don't even know what to think. Like
yeah.
it's
I
so
think, I
crazy the
think,
way that works.
yeah, I think what you said is probably what's gonna happen. I think it's gonna lead to a WWE versus TNA event. I don't know if it'll be on a pay-per-view or if it'll be maybe on a TNA show. I don't know, but it'll be cool to see, and I hope that's what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We'll see what happens. I definitely am interested, so we'll
Yeah.
see.
So, we'll use this next topic to lead into Elimination Chamber. So on Friday Night SmackDown last week, um, it was not the best show, but one of the main segments that people were talking about was The Rock making his return to confront Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. The
Yeah, you gotta show
goosebumps.
the
When you just
goosebumps.
said
Show
The
the
Rock,
goosebumps.
you gotta show them.
Yeah.
You see them? I got none because that segment was crazy.
Yo, I don't know what is going on with The Rock. And I feel like maybe he's doing it on purpose, but he's so confusing. And he tends to ramble a lot too. Like he'll say the same things multiple times in the same like one sentence and he'll just repeat it the next sentence. It's like you're the champion. I see you're the champion. Everybody knows you're the champion. It's like why are you saying that? Like just say it once. You don't need to say it like so yeah, he came out at first he announced that WrestleMania next year, we talked about it, is going to be in New Orleans because they were in New Orleans. Um, so that's cool, and it's going to be in the Superdome, and there's been a lot of history there, so it's a good place to have the show. But what's weird is that he kept dipping in and out of being the final boss and Dwayne Johnson, and it was
Yeah.
so awkward because he was thanking the crowd and getting like, oh, you're hype and stuff like that. You're a great crowd, and then like he's like, shut up or I'm gonna slap the syphilis off your face. It's like what?
Yeah, it was like, what?
Because like first, then he said like he was saying New Orleans, like it's a great crowd, it's a great city, and then you guys are trailer park trash. It's like what's going
I
on?
don't know. I know, right? They're in New Orleans. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, why
I
you?
think I think right now it's just weird because, well, one, I think he should definitely, I don't know if he's rehearsing lines or not, but he
He
should definitely rehearse
he
lines
needs
because
to.
I think he's starting to go out there and be like, I could just on the fly. And it's just like a spur of the moment type thing because apparently this thing was last minute as well because
Yeah,
some matches got cut. So I think that's what it was as well. Like it wasn't much preparation. And I think he definitely needs preparation because saying the same thing over and over and over and over, it's just like, all right, bro, get to the point. Like, I
yeah,
understand you're here for a reason. Get to the point.
and I think
And he needs to focus on staying as final boss or Dwayne. Like, that post conference, he was definitely
yeah,
Dwayne.
that was
Like,
Dwayne. Yeah.
ain't no final boss in that press conference. But in the ring, he should have been the final boss. So, I don't know. That promo was just weird.
Yeah, it was weird. And so he calls Cody out and he was rambling. He was trying to he really didn't get to the point up until like the very end where essentially he wants Cody to be the Rock's champion. And or basically he wants to be like kind of like the
Oh, like,
corporation or like the authority. Like he wants Cody to be with him and to basically, well, not basically, he said it, sell his soul. Like he wants Cody to sell out. He took a
yeah.
long way to
And
get there, but
Cody and and Rollins saved that segment actually because they were talking about it on Raw. Like yeah, this is what The Rock wants you to be. And I was like, that's what he wants him to be? I thought he just wanted his soul. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what he was talking about.
Yeah, The Rock he was on one.
Yeah, I don't know what
Like, what you talking
happened. Some
about?
people were like,
Souls?
yeah, some people were like, oh, you take weed off the wellness policy, and this is what you get.
That's true.
The Rock.
No, The Rock, he's a drinker. He's drinking that Terramana. What are you talking about?
That tequila
That,
that
that
they
yeah,
always
the
sip on.
tequila. So basically, yeah, he wants Cody to basically just do his bidding. Um and he said he didn't have to give him an answer then, that he can wait until March 1st at Elimination Chamber. So there's a couple of ways they can go about this. And I think a lot of people are assuming that Cody's just going to sell out. That would make zero sense. Like they could do it for the shock of it, but it makes no sense. Like after everything that Cody's been through, and after everything that, like especially now, like with Kevin Owens, like literally everything, uh, he's fighting for is because of his like partnership with like Cody or Roman Reigns, and like with Kevin Owens and stuff like that. There's tension with Randy. Um, it's always been about tying back to like his partnership with the Bloodline. So why would he like just go full force into that? Like literally, he's getting into matches and people hate him for that. So like, why would you do it even more and partner with The Rock? I guess maybe they could spin it as like, oh, like if I can't beat him, join him. Like I don't know, but he did beat him, so I don't know.
He did beat him. The only reason I can see is like maybe the crown is too heavy. Like having the championship and being the top champion and all that, it like wears down on him, and like he gets the pressure, and like he fumbles under pressure, I guess. But that's the only thing I can see. I don't really see Cody being heel. Like as much as I would really want him to be kind of like a heel, it would be cool, but
I,
I
f-
don't think it would
I
work
feel like he can
right
do it
now.
because when he first left WWE, he was a heel
Yeah, he
on the
was. Even
Indies.
when he was in WWE.
Oh yeah, well at Stardust, but I'm talking about like as Cody Rhodes. He was a heel, and he partnered up with the Bullet Club in New Japan and Ring of Honor, and he was pretty good at it. He's pretty good at being an asshole. Like
Yeah.
so I think he can do it. I don't think they're gonna do it right now. I think eventually they can lead into it, but right now it's probably best for him to stay a face.
Yeah.
Especially because he's essentially the current John Cena. Like kids love him, adults love him. Like he has his fan base, and he sells a lot of merch. So it doesn't really make sense to turn him heel right now. Um, what I will say though, and this is my theory about the whole thing of what's gonna happen. I think they're gonna tease it being Cody, and on an Elimination Chamber, he's gonna turn him down. He's probably gonna be respectful about it. It's like I can't turn my back on the fans, stuff like that. And The Rock is just like, all right, and he kind of like plays it off like it's not a big deal. And then this will probably be like earlier in the show, and then later on in the show, um, like during the Elimination Chamber match, uh, probably John Cena gets eliminated. I don't think I'm gonna just say right now, I don't think John Cena's winning. Um, John Cena's gonna get eliminated, and he's just gonna rage out, and he's gonna attack
Yeah.
everybody in the ring and like faces anything. And I think maybe not at the Elimination Chamber. Probably like maybe the
Probably
Raw
like
after or SmackDown after. He's gonna take The Rock's deal, and
I think so
I
too.
think John Cena. I think that low key people are not really paying attention to John Cena's words. I keep going back to that press conference after Royal Rumble where he said, "I'm gonna win. I'm gonna main event WrestleMania. I'm gonna win number 17 because that's what's best for business." Like the way he said it was just so serious and so
Yeah.
monotone. It feels like somebody who is desperate. And if he loses the Elimination Chamber match, I think that's what's going to put him over the edge. And I think that's going to be the catalyst for him just like doing whatever is necessary to get in that main event. And he's probably going to take Rock's offer, and that's going to be the shock. Like The Rock and John Cena teaming up, like what the hell? it's
Yeah.
gonna echo uh Stone Cold teaming up with Vince because that was always the rivalry. And then when he obviously the follow through like was shit, but I think
Yeah.
they're not gonna milk it that long. It's probably just gonna be for the WrestleMania build, and whoever ends up winning, which I'll say later when we talk about it. Um, Cena's gonna get added to the match, and I think it's gonna be a
Mm,
triple threat.
mm. Oh man. That's an interesting way. I don't even know. Like that's a pretty good way to go about it. I definitely see The Rock teaming up with John Cena and John Cena being a heel and like siding with the boss, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty cool actually. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. Cause The Rock showing up at Elimination Chamber is just like it's a little weird if it doesn't add to something WrestleMania wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just weird. Like, why have you been here? But that's what he did at Bad Blood. He was just there and stared at them and pointed at them, and that was it.
yeah.
So I don't really have high expectations for him at Elimination Chamber, but I do hope that there's something.
There's
And
gonna be
that would be a
something.
crazy something.
Yeah, and I think ultimately this will be a way to lead into next year at WrestleMania to finally get Rock versus Roman. Because Roman's gonna see this and be like, "Why are you choosing other people? I'm right here." And
Oh,
then
yeah, that's true.
yeah, so um, so yeah, that's so. Well, what do you think is gonna happen?
Elimination Chamber. Well, Damian Priest is definitely getting eliminated. I
You
don't know, and
said
I don't have
that.
anything against Damian Priest. It's just like you know.
Yeah,
Anyways,
we'll
Drew
talk.
McIntyre.
Yeah, we'll just
I
talk
feel like
about
is a
the men's elimination chamber match.
yeah. Drew McIntyre. I feel like is a dark horse. He could win. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
maybe he could even accept Rock's offer,
Yeah, I've heard that
but
too.
I feel like he could as well. But I don't know. Like that. That's one I'm going to keep in the side. Who else is in the match? It's
Uh,
Logan Paul is definitely not winning.
no,
He's definitely screwing somebody over though.
probably
Um, because honestly, I think Damian Priest and Drew is the plan for WrestleMania.
Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, if Drew doesn't accept the offer, I feel like that's the plan for WrestleMania. And I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean,
Yeah, I feel like
I
that's
guess we'll
kind of a
see what
step
their build
down.
is. Yeah, for both, yo, they were both in a World Heavyweight Championship match technically last year.
Like, yeah, technically, yeah.
Yeah, they both were World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania.
Right.
Um, Drew cashed in on Damien, or my fault. Damien cashed in on Drew
Yeah.
and became the World Heavyweight Champion. But other than that, they really have no other story right now. So
Yeah.
I don't really know. I
Where
don't know.
does Seth Rollins fit into this? Because
Seth
is he
Rollins.
gonna do with
Ah,
Roman? I feel
man.
like that's the play, right?
I feel like that is the play. If Rock doesn't face Roman this year, which I don't think he is. If Rock doesn't face Roman, I feel like Seth Rollins is facing Roman and maybe even CM Punk in the triple threat. But I don't want CM Punk in there just because like I feel like it's Rock Roman versus Rollins is kind of like the match. And I feel like it's a great match to happen at WrestleMania. It's never happened at WrestleMania. They have so much history. It's like it's great to have. And
Mm.
adding CM Punk to that is kind of like a I mean, it would also make sense because he was the start. He was there for the start of the Shield, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that could happen later down the line, the triple threat. But WrestleMania, Rollins versus Reigns. That's it. CM Punk, I don't know what he does for WrestleMania, to be honest.
So that's what I was gonna say. So I think Punk is winning, and I think
Mm.
he ends up. Well, obviously he's gonna face Cody, and then that's when John Cena gets added into it, making it a triple threat. So it'll be
I could
Cody,
see that.
Punk, and Cena. And I feel like I've heard rumors that people on the inside are like petitioning for that. Obviously we don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, I think that's where they're gonna go.
And maybe that's why they've been avoiding each other so much because I know they're gonna have a match together. CM Punk
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and,
Oh,
and Cena
yeah.
definitely gonna have a match, but that they've been avoiding each other. The whole Royal Rumble avoided each other. Like, yo,
Yeah, that was
Cena came
weird.
out. Yeah, Cena and Roman had the stare down, then CM Punk came out. They just stared down each other, didn't make a move at all. And then Rollins came out, and then I think it was Rollins and Cena, or Rollins and Punk fighting each other, and then Roman and Cena were fighting each other. Like they didn't touch at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah,
And
they did save it.
yeah, I think they're saving it. Now, I
Well,
didn't think
obviously
about this possibility,
they're gonna
but
be in the chamber together, so maybe they'll have to fight then.
yeah, they got to fight in the chamber, but at least like leading up to it, I don't know. That's a possibility I didn't think about, and I think that would probably be a good idea. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
So CM Punk, I could see being a winner. Cena probably definitely gonna lose. Logan Paul lose. Damian Priest lose. Drew McIntyre dark horse, but I think he's still gonna lose. And that's it to the chamber. There's one more person.
Seth Rollins.
And Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seth Rollins is probably gonna. Yeah, he's probably gonna fight CM Punk, and CM Punk might even pin Seth Rollins.
Then that would be a
So,
slap in the face.
yo, OD.
Because he beat him, and now I feel like Seth Rollins always gets the short end of the stick for other people. Like he was like the ride or die WWE guy. Like he stuck around through the worst of it, and then Cody Rhodes comes back, he loses to him 3 times. CM Punk comes back, loses to him. So it's like,
If if Cena, like even Cena pins Rollins, that would be even crazy.
that would be
But
crazy.
Cena's like he goes away. I mean, obviously he's old, but he goes away, comes back, and now whatever. But anyways, I think actually instead of Seth Rollins, I think Punk might pin Cena.
That actually,
I think he might pin Cena, and if it ends up being a triple threat, that could be something that they lead towards.
that could be.
I don't
That's a
know. I guess we'll
possibility.
have to see.
We'll see. That's the thing about like unpredictability. Like this is good. I like this. I don't want it to be too predictable because then it's just like then you expect it and then you just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the next match we're going to talk about is Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. This was kind of like thrown together last minute. Obviously it's in Toronto. They is it Toronto? Yes, in
Yeah.
Toronto. And obviously Trish Stratus, she's Canadian. So it makes sense to have her be doing something. I just feel like it kind of undermines like Tiffany Stratton as champion, unless they are gonna have Nia Jax come after. No, it's Charlotte. So like,
It's Charlotte.
yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot. So then, what is the point of this match?
I think there's no point besides getting Trish Stratus on Elimination Chamber, but also doing something with Tiffany. And it's like there's really no point because Charlotte is nowhere to be found in this. Honestly, I have no hype for Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah,
Like after the dream matches, everybody like picturing as soon as Tiffany Stratton walked in the door, they're like, "Oh my god, her versus her versus Charlotte Flair would be amazing.
I feel like
This would be crazy." And now it's just like, ugh.
I think the match can still deliver, but it's just the story is like it's weird. Like why would Charlotte go after? I guess because that's the WWE Women's Champion, so she wants that title. I don't know, but the story is kind of it's kind of lame. Like I'm gonna just say it's like they're not really doing much with it. Literally, they're trying to make Charlotte the face, but she's not. Like she's getting
Yeah.
heel treatment, and Tiffany's now kind of a face because she's against Nia with Trish, but she's still acting a little heel. I don't know. It's so confusing what they're doing right now with them, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, this match, I'm assuming obviously Trish and Tiffany are gonna win because it's Canada.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you do that?
And how you gonna have the women's champion lose at the
Yeah,
pay-per-view before?
exactly.
Like,
Unless Charlotte
not a good look.
interferes, I
That's the
guess.
only thing, but that's
But then she's supposed to be a face. I don't know. I don't get it.
my thing is Tiffany Stratton is a heel. Charlotte's even more heel. And it's not it's like going on universe mode and having heel versus heel, and then Triple H yelling at you because you have heel versus heel. It gives you the whole tutorial of how to do face versus heel, all that, and it's like it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
That's not gonna draw in fans. It's not gonna. I don't know. It's not interesting because they're both heels. It's like Tiffany Stratton can be a face, and all they need to do is flip the switch, but they're not. So I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows what they're gonna do, but I guess we'll find out. I mean, there's other things they could do, but I don't know. Anyway,
I don't
moving
know.
on. We have the women's elimination chamber match. Now, we have Roxanne Perez, Bailey, Naomi, um, Alexa Bliss, who returned at the Royal Rumble, Liv Morgan, and Bianca Belair. I feel like this is more gonna be because the winner is gonna face Rhea at WrestleMania, and it's hard because out of these, I wouldn't choose any of them. Like the match I
Yeah,
want to see, and the match I want to see is actually gonna happen
on
on
Raw.
Raw again with EO Sky. So it's after the chamber. So it's like I don't get why they decided to do this. But I really don't want this to happen, but I feel like they're gonna do it again. I feel like Liv Morgan's gonna win. I don't want her to win, but I feel like she's gonna win because I feel like
See,
that's the only one that makes sense. Like out of these women, I don't see who can. Maybe Bailey, but like
nah,
the Bianca match is too soon because they're gonna do something whenever Jade Cargill comes back.
yeah.
So that her and Naomi are basically out, like because of Jade, because that's the story that's gonna go into WrestleMania. Alexa
Yep.
Bliss is still like she hasn't really. Alexa, stop.
She's like, "What'd you say?"
So yeah, her winning. It's like I get that she's new or not new, but she like came back. But she had a match on SmackDown, and I don't know if you saw it, but during her match they did a little glitch. So the Wyatt Six is gonna be involved somehow with her. So I don't think she's gonna. And Roxanne Perez is way too new. Like I know they a lot of times they tend to do like they hot shot new girls from NXT to the top, but like you can't do it too soon because like then where do you go from there?
Yeah.
So it's like you got to build to that. Like you got to take your time. The only other one that makes sense is Bailey. So I would say either
Uh,
Bailey or Liv Morgan. I don't want it to be Liv Morgan, but I feel like because that's been such a long-standing story between them, that's what they're gonna do.
Honestly, I feel like right now, Bianca and Naomi, I feel like they're not gonna win. Even though Bianca versus Rhea is definitely a WrestleMania match.
Yes, but that needs to be its own build. Like Bianca
Yeah,
needs to win like the Royal Rumble, or Rhea win the Royal Rumble, and then that's how they face off with one on one. Like I feel like they're
yeah,
because of the like I said the Jade stuff that kind of takes a while, but eventually maybe next year we'll get that match.
yeah. I think so too. And I feel like what you said, Naomi and Bianca is definitely out. I feel like Roxanne is too soon. Even though she was the Iron Woman of the Royal Rumble, I think she's trying to build right now, and I don't think it's gonna be like the hot shot to the top right now. But who else? Liv, I definitely see her winning. I could also see Alexa winning.
Really?
You never really know because Alexa returned and she's kind of like on a hot streak right now, and it's like I don't really know what they're gonna do with her. So they could do anything. They could build a whole storyline with Rhea Ripley and you never really know. Like it's Alexa versus Rhea. I don't think that match has happened. I'm not sure.
Alexa versus Rhea? Yeah, I don't think Alexa stop.
Let's just call her Bliss.
Yeah, Bliss. Yeah, I don't think that match happened.
Yeah, I don't know if it happened, and a lot of people are behind Bliss right now, and it's like I feel like it could be a marquee match. I don't know, like Liv versus Rhea. Nobody really wants to see that unless they do like a triple threat with her, Io,
That's
and
a thing,
Liv.
but like you can't do too many triple threat matches. Unless you do it on
That's
separate
true.
nights. But
It could.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's like it's up in the air right now, and this is also a good thing because you don't know who's gonna win. But I just don't want to be disappointed when Liv wins and EO loses on Monday, and it's like,
Yeah,
ugh.
I don't know.
And then it ends up being a triple threat. So like, I don't know. We'll see. But I do have Liv winning as well.
Yeah.
But I do also, you know
say
what? I don't have Liv winning. I have Alexa winning.
okay.
I'm calling
You
Alexa to
calling
win.
it? Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Bailey, I think she's gonna be in a program with Roxanne for WrestleMania, to be honest.
Yeah, I forgot that they were feuding. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so Bailey, I don't know if she will win. Plus she had her time last year. She was women's champ, or she won the Royal Rumble. She beat Io, or right? She beat Io for the championship.
Yes. Yes, you did.
Yeah, so I feel like she's not really gonna do anything with the championship this year. I think Alexa's gonna win, and I'm gonna just hold that, and hopefully my prediction's right next time we have a
Okay.
podcast.
Okay. We'll see. So last match we're going to talk about is Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens in an unsanctioned match.
Oh man, this match is like low key, like just
They should have.
it's low key.
They should have did this at WrestleMania
They should have, but I understand why they did it at Elimination Chamber.
because it's in
I feel
Canada.
like
So
it's in Canada. It's gonna feel like a WrestleMania match in Canada,
yeah,
and I feel like there's bigger plans for both of them after Elimination Chamber, because I feel like Randy Orton's gonna come back. He's gonna have a match with Kevin Owens at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Sami Zayn, I don't know what Sami Zayn does for WrestleMania.
that's the problem.
He might be added to the ladder match.
Oh, maybe if they do that, but that I feel like that's a step down. Like
it is, considering he won it last year.
it. I literally just said let's not do too many triple threat matches. They should probably do a triple threat match with Sammy, Kevin, and Randy.
But I don't know. I don't see Sammy being like it's Randy and Kevin right now. Kevin put Randy on the shelf.
Yeah.
Kevin's going on a crazy streak or whatever. Once he's done with Sammy, he might even put out Sammy. Like he might actually beat Sammy into a pulp. And I don't know what Sammy's gonna do, but maybe I don't know. I don't know what Sammy does after Elimination Chamber.
Well,
I don't know.
Even then, like this match is gonna be great. Like that's without a doubt. So
yo, that Cody versus Kevin versus Royal Rumble, that was insane.
That was
I can
amazing.
only imagine.
Yeah,
I can only imagine what they do with Kevin and Sammy. If anything goes, they could jump off the stage.
Yeah,
like they could do anything.
Yeah,
so, I'm really excited to see this.
Yeah, this is gonna be. This is because that Cody match with Kevin, like that shocked me. Not shocked me, but it's like I didn't expect it to be as good as it was, and I think this has the potential to top it. So So we'll see what happens with Sammy. I know Kevin Owens, he's got a guaranteed match essentially, but Sammy is kind of like up in the air. And so we'll see what happens with them. So that's the card. And I think with that being said, it's time to go home. So if you want, you can like and subscribe if you enjoyed this podcast. If you want to follow us on our socials, remember, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and we're going to be back post Elimination Chamber to talk about everything that's happening. I don't know who's that?
How'd you know there's somebody coming?
I see it in the corner of my thing.
He's calling he's predicting the future. Alexa's going to win the chamber. He just said that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the eye.
It is written in stone.
Yeah. He actually can see the future. That's his whole thing.
Oh.
Okay.
So
sorry to spoil it, but that's what it is.
Why'd you do that, man?
I don't know, man.
So that'll do it for us. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.